seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago.
Hey y'all, welcome to this channel and welcome to another chapter of Adventura the Bus. This chapter, chapter 20, it's beginning to look a lot like ... You can fill in the blank, but I'm going to fill in a couple of blanks in this chapter. One of them is we celebrated Thanksgiving last week, and I have a little bit of footage from our preparation for Thanksgiving with my mom and I and my sister. She gets to do a little cameo appearance in there, and some fun things that we did over the holidays. But I also had some time where my daughter and some of her friends and a friend of mine came over, and they helped me decorate the cabin for the holidays. So we're all decorated up for the holidays, and it's a beautiful time of year. I really enjoy this time of year. I love the cooler weather. This is my kind of weather right now. It's just cooling off nicely here. And I've had a good week with the bus. And I got a few things done, but I didn't get a lot of huge projects done. I got some small projects done. But I just wanted to invite you to take a little time and see what I got to work on this week. One, I invite you to enjoy Thanksgiving holidays with my family. And I have a lot to be thankful for because 6 months ago, I started this journey with this bus. And I've seen so much transformation over that time. The Lord challenged me to see what a year of transformation would look like. I'm 6 months into the journey and she's already looking beautiful. I can't wait to see how she looks when we're done. But she's about halfway there. I want to sing that song. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. That's what I'm doing. I'm walking through each day and being intentional about it. And also, I have taken a small look back at how far I've come. So, I invite you to enjoy the journey. It's a very short excerpts of the things that we have in this chapter, but I hope you enjoy it. And thanks for... Hey y'all, here's my mama. She's always here and close to me. I really love spending time with her and cooking with her. And that's exactly what we did this holiday. You see me here working on some hors d'oeuvres for everybody. And this is like speed cooking. I was using the time lapse on my iPhone and it was like going super fast. And I haven't figured out how to slow down these clips. So you get really hyper speed. And the first hors d'oeuvre I was working on was blue cheese biscuits. And that reminded me of when I was in junior high school. And then I did these cranberry brie bites. Now I'm working on peeling apples for my mom's apple pie. I just did all the peeling. She did all the work. And this is beautiful apple pie that my mom put together. She cooks the best apple pie ever. Now I am speed peeling potatoes for mashed potatoes. And then this next round will be sweet potatoes. So I'm doing regular russet potatoes. My mom will use nothing else other than russet potatoes. And that's what I was working on. I bet you say, man, that's the fastest potato peeling in the world. And then next step is sweet potatoes, which we had sweet potatoes. We had a beautiful meal, turkey, ham, sweet potatoes, stuffing. We had two kinds of stuffing. My sister made this amazing stuffing. It was crab. She put crab in the stuffing. Best stuffing I've ever had. Oh my gosh, I loved it. She always makes oyster stuffing for my dad, but this time she made crab because she had some extra crab meat. She had made some deviled eggs, and she always throws a little crab in her deviled eggs. But this is a beautiful feast we had. We shared with my brother, my sister, my daughter, her husband, my mom and dad. And then what you see happening here right now is my mom, my sister, and I are putting together a Lego chessboard. My sister got a Lego chessboard to put together, and she thought it would be really fun for us all to take turns and help build this chessboard. Now, we didn't get the whole thing done. We only got the first two parts done. And I mean, there's a lot of pieces, and we each took a step, and we each did a step, and we took turns, and it was really fun. We had a great time. We enjoy doing puzzles sometimes, but this was a cool activity to do together, and it was really fun for us to do together as a family. So that's my mom, my sister, and I. And we had such a great time that we worked on that first section, and now we're finishing the second section. And it was really a lot of fun, and we enjoy doing special things like that when we get together for the holidays. finish up here really quickly. And then you're going to see me switch over after we finish up this last section of Legos. We're going to do probably another session of it when we get together, probably near Christmas. Good news is my son is coming for Christmas and I get to see my grandbaby and my daughter-in-law. I'm super excited about it. They're going to stay here at my house and we're going to host Christmas here at the cabin. So we're looking forward to doing that. We're doing some special things for our holidays and we'll save that for when we're together for Christmas. I can't wait to share about what my sister came up with this year is a good idea for us to do to make this holiday a special thing, not just for us, but for other people too. So we're working on doing that, and I'm super excited. Now what you see me doing here is I'm actually smoking a turkey. I had a small turkey, about a 10-pound turkey, and what I did is I split it down the middle so that I could kind of butterfly it out. And what I do when I smoke something is I will get it on the grill and I'll give it a nice searing on the grill. So that's what you see me doing here as I'm searing that turkey, getting the good outside charred a little bit because that gives it a lot of flavor. I also rubbed it down with some spices that I use, and now I'm putting it on the cold side of the grill, and then you'll see me plug in a temperature monitor, and I'm in there fixing up this fire to make sure it keeps going good and strong while this turkey is cooking. So I just put a temperature probe in it, I cook it to temperature. I'll close the lid on it and the heat cooks that turkey, and it came out fantastic. I was really, really happy with the results. You can see me set the temperature thing and I'll go in. It's actually connected to my cell phone, so it's really cool. And that's that turkey after it came out of the grill. Boy, was it ever tasty. It was really good. And we had a very enjoyable time. So now what I did that turkey for is the day after Christmas on Black Friday, when everybody else was going to the stores and shopping, I went to my house and we had my daughter and some of her friends and a friend of my family come over, and we all decorated the cabin for the holidays. And we had a feast as well. Everybody brought a little something to share, and it was really fun. We got together and we had a great time together. So I just invite you to enjoy the holidays with us. We had so many good things together, and it was just delicious. And next you will see the feast de la resistance. This is the feast of what we had. We had some Brussels sprouts, and we actually had some unusual things. We had some butter chicken, and we had turkey, and this is the cabin all decorated up. It's beautiful. Absolutely love how this place looks when it's decorated. I also want to say a special thank you to everybody who is here that helped decorate the cabin. Maria, John, Alicia, Luke, and Rebecca, and her two daughters, Grace and Madison. Thank you everybody who... Okay, so what you see coming up next is me working on the cab of the van. I took the driver's seat out, and I'm actually getting around to what I told you I was going to do. I took the seat out so that I could finish off the wood trim area of the front of the cab area there. I have those two open spaces there that open up to the underneath of the bus, and I wanted to get those closed off and sealed so that the next time I take the bus out driving, I won't get fumes and heat up in the driver's area. It was like really getting super hot, and what I did is I took the time to take out the seat and work on this whole front cab area and make the trim for this area. I saw somebody else do it on YouTube, and I don't even remember which woodworking place I was watching, but I watched this guy cut specialized like trim that was like on a corner, and what he did is he took a 2x2, ran it through a saw, and he got this beautiful angled piece of trim. And that's what I did, and I did not demonstrate it to you on the saw. I have a couple more pieces to cut, so I didn't finish the side by the stairs. So when I get to the point that I'm doing those pieces for the side, I'll make sure I show you the process of cutting out these 2x2s to make them work the way I did it. It was really cool, and I got it to work really good, and I really liked the way the trim came out on this. Was really satisfied with the whole process, and really loved doing this. I used my miter saw and my table saw in this whole process, and it was really a fun journey to get this finished up and work on it. I actually had 2 camera angles this time too, so you'll see me switch between this view here, which is where I'm working on the angled trim, and I would bring in a piece, I would actually measure it out and mark the angles, and then I would take it to my miter saw and cut it. So that's why you see a little gap in there. I tried to trim down as much possible the gaps of me not being there and being inactive, but I didn't get that perfect. But I have been improving on the actual filming part. I didn't have a second camera set up over by the saw, so you didn't get to see me do the saw. I'm believing for a new GoPro someday soon, and maybe Santa will bring me a GoPro, but I don't know that he will. It's okay. I'll get one when it's time. But my GoPro currently is not working on time-lapse speed, and I want to eventually get a new GoPro, but I'm really focusing more on doing the work in the van and buying the pieces for the van when I can afford to do it. And this past week I bought the supplies so that I can start doing the wiring in the van. And so, honestly, my priority is to work on the van more. I would love to get another camera, but my daughter gave me her husband's old Pixel phone, and it is working as a great second camera, actually, and it's doing a lot of my time-lapse photography, so I'm not having to use up as much hard drive space for the footage now. But this actual footage you're seeing right now is my GoPro. It still works, it's limping at best. So yeah, I'm working on getting that improved, but it's not done yet. And so you see me working on fitting out all this trim, and it is coming along quite nicely. I also ordered something new for the doors, and you'll see that hopefully soon. I'm hoping in the next couple days to get working on that. And Amir is actually going to be back here tomorrow. She's coming back in tomorrow evening. I don't know if she's going to get on any of the video, but she's going to be back here again, just visiting for a couple of days because she needs to make a special run to one of the big stores around here. And so she came back down to visit, and she wants to say hey again and see the progress on the bus. So she's excited to see that. She wasn't here to see the finished work on the doors, and actually she's going to be here long enough that she can probably help me get the last little piece component done on the doors that I need to do to make them done. But everything's coming along quite nicely here. You can see the trim's making progress, and soon you'll see me working on the 2-piece. Oh, what I'm doing right there right now is I had some holes there that were left over from when the wires were coming up underneath the driver's seat, where they were the positive battery wires that were run back to where they used to have a bank of batteries for the bus, and it had a switch there to switch back and forth. And I'm not going to put it back underneath the driver's seat. If I'm going to have a switch for switching back and forth between power, I'm going to put it over in the section where I'm going to basically have a broom closet with a lot of the electrical, and possibly underneath the bench couch that I'm going to have in the van, which is where I'm going to put most of my electrical setup. I want to kind of keep it all centralized in one space, and so I was covering up that piece, that section there with, and this is going to actually get you a better view of what I was doing with the trim and that piece of sheet metal that I just went and marked it, and I'm cutting it to cover up those holes that are there from those wires. And what I did is I just got a piece of sheet metal, I cut it to size, then you'll see me put a piece of Eternabond tape down, and then you see me get a drill, and I drill 4 holes and put some pop rivets in, and then after I put the pop rivets in, we caulk it up really good. I did put a little caulk around underneath, and then I'm going to put another layer of caulk. There's what I caulked it underneath, and then after I put the pop rivets in, I put another layer of caulk on the top. So it's caulked on 2 different things, and then I'll switch scenes here, and we will go on to, that's where I'm putting the pop rivets in and caulking, and then later on I come back and paint it after it dries. So you'll see a gap in here where I'm not working on that. I'm working on the wood now, and this is where I'm putting up those panels of wood to finish off this whole section. And I did go through and put grape foam in behind all these panels of wood to kind of try and seal it some. I do need to put a little bit more spray foam in there because it just needs to be sealed a little bit better. I don't want all this heat and exhaust coming up from underneath the bus into the cab area when I'm driving. I don't want that. That's kind of toxic, and I just want to have good fresh air in that area. So working on that, and I made good progress on all of this, and I was very happy with it. I switched to another task here. I think I was actually still working on the wood. Okay, so I'm still working on the wood here, and finishing up that wood and getting it in place so then I can actually attach the trim pieces that I cut out earlier. So before I was kind of dry fitting all that trim, and now after I mount these boards in, which that's what you see me doing there, I'm going to actually put some caulk on there, and then I'm going to actually mount in the trim pieces. So that's what you see me doing next. Now I've got everything cleaned up, and you can see me cleaning up all the excess from the spray foam that I was actually put underneath and behind those panels. So I was sealing that up to get a good seal so that there's no exhaust fumes coming in the cabin area now. So that's been a good project, and then you're going to see me go on to painting, putting another coat of paint on the top surface of the floor, because I wanted to cover up that piece of sheet metal that I put in there. First I wiped it down with some alcohol and cleaned it up really good so that it would adhere the paint, and then you'll see me come in and spray paint it. I apologize once again for the angle on this particular camera. I didn't get as good an angle, but the cab area is kind of tight, and so it's hard to get a really great camera angle, and it's also hard to get all the activity that's going on in it. But I did my best to try and capture as much as possible. So right there you see me prepping the floor, and then I'm going to come in behind that and paint another layer of flat black paint in there. And then I'll be moving on shortly here to working on the floor, which I actually worked on the floor and put some flooring stuff down. Now, the stuff I put down in the front cab area, I'm not going to spend hours and hours up in the front cab area, and I had bought some of this material to see if it was going to be something that was going to be useful for the van. Didn't really love it, but it was something that was flexible enough that would work well in the cab space. So I got that as a kind of a test product, and I wasn't really super happy with it. It was too flimsy to use, and it just didn't look like, it looked like real wood in some ways, but it just didn't suit the needs that I had for actually doing this whole project. And so I just thought it would be best to use this product in the cab area because it was so flexible, and it would fit to the contours of the front cab area. So I actually ended up using that instead of putting like a hardwood flooring down. I just wanted something to cover the floor that kind of looked like wood. And one other thing I did do is I did put a piece of quarter round after I cleaned up that whole bottom edge. This is just a picture of what it looked like when I was done with most of it. And I did end up, this is me actually installing the flooring I was just talking about. And this is it's kind of polystyrene foam that's made to look like wood, but it's really super thin. And I thought about using it on the ceiling, but one that was too wide. I don't want that wide a board, and cutting those down to size and trying to make them look good would just not work. But what it did work good for was in this front cab area. It gave it kind of a wood panel look in the front of the cab area without having to go through a lot of trouble on it. And I was able to just glue it down to the floor, and it was super flexible, so it fit around all the curves and bends. It was easy to cut for doing the curves and bends, but I can't say it's going to be a long-term product. I think it's something that's going to wear down pretty quick, so I don't know how long that'll last, but it was just definitely a temporary fix for right now, and it just to get something down there to give it a finished look. And I don't know if I'm going to stick with that flooring. We'll see if it stands up to the test of time. But I definitely did my best to try and capture this whole section, but it wasn't necessarily easy to capture it all because of the camera that I had set up for this. So what I'm doing is cutting out the individual pieces and getting them fit to the curves, and you can see how I fit it nicely around the curve of that dog pound, or the dog house, that's what they call it, the covering that goes over the engine compartment. The dog house has a lot of curves on it, and this material did work nice for cutting out those curves and keeping it nice to contour and covering that all up, and just giving it a better look than just flat black metal. And I may get some floor mats and put them over that. So, and in the section close to the door, I'm planning to probably build a whole cabinet section in. I saw one other person, Navigation Nowhere, built in this beautiful console and section in the front where he had almost a similar van where he had a dog house, and then he had another plastic piece that went on the front of the dog house. And my plastic piece that goes on the front of the dog house is not pretty. It's ugly, it's been cut out, it's been modified, and it just does not look right. And I might just do the same thing he did and build a little custom console in there, and then I'm going to have another section over on the right side by where the door is and put in like a small cabinet for a shoe cabinet or something like that. That's kind of... So what you see me doing here now is I'm actually gluing down these pieces in place after I trimmed them, and it took me a minute to get them all trimmed up in the right thing. And I used this special kind of foam, it's similar to like spray foam, but it's just an adhesive, and it worked really good for this application. But the only problem is, and this is what I'm going to warn you all about, you see I have gloves on my hand in this section. But if you get any of this stuff on your skin, it takes days to get it off. There's nothing that gets this stuff off your hands. So you best wear gloves when you're wearing this, and try not to get it on your skin. Because if you take your gloves off, which I did near the end, and I took my gloves off, it got all over my hands. And it took me days to get my hands clean. And there I'm putting down some heavy objects to kind of weight down the flooring stuff that I put down, so that it would just hold it down on the floor and not have it lift up in the edges. So when you glue something down to the floor, it's good to put some weight on it. Hey y'all, thank you for joining me on this journey with Adventura the bus. I appreciate all of y'all who have watched it through to the end. This has been a cool journey this week. One, taking a look back at how it all got started about 6 months ago, in the end of May and the beginning of June, when I started working on Adventura the bus. This has been a cool journey, and I've really enjoyed it so far. And I hope you enjoyed seeing how I worked on finishing up the renovation of the cab. I still have a little bit of work to do on it, but we're getting close. I'm so close with that, I can taste it. But I've been waiting to get some of the other bigger projects done before I get onto it. Next week, I'm hoping to finish up the framing and get on to moving into wiring the electrical for the bus. So I also had a little bit of chance this past week, but I did not include the footage of doing some of the electrical work, finishing up that electrical panel that I changed out, and pulling out all that excess wiring that I had. So you'll get to see a little bit of that next week, and hopefully we'll get the electrical all wired in, and you'll get to see lights, cameras action. We're going to just turn the light on. We're going to light it up next week. Yes, hopefully that's the plan. And Mamira's going to stop by and visit this weekend, and I'm looking forward to seeing her. But I just want to invite you to continue to join me on this journey and take time to like, subscribe, and share this video. If you know anybody who's going through a journey like this, or you just know someone who enjoys watching these kind of videos, I invite you to have them be a part of it and share this video with someone else who needs the journey, who would benefit from this journey. This is really not for me to build a YouTube audience. It's more for me to just take a note and have a journal or a chronicle of what I've done and how I've gone through there, and just share some of the lessons I've learned along the way. Thanks much for joining me. Hope we see you again next week. Y'all come back now. Thank you all for taking time to stop by. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Y'all come back now.
Some things are not the same as they were a year ago.